Hey everybody, Bob Adams. It is the 2nd of August, 2022. Welcome to this evening's presentation. I've kind of titled it with three different areas: the Iqd Roundup, the affiliate option, and while we're waiting. So before we get started, obviously I get to do the disclaimer. All information, discussions regarding the Iraqi dinar, events, taxes, and plans for educational and entertainment purposes only are general in nature and not intended as investment, legal, or tax advice. Each person's personal and financial situation is unique and different, and the information provided may not apply or work effectively for you. Effective and established financial tax planning needs to be done by you with licensed professionals of your choosing. By signing up for and attending or participating in our informational internet or in-person workshops, seminars, and follow-up meetings, you agree that MaxPlans for Life, Inc. and all affiliate companies, representatives, associates, or employees, information providers, aka Bob Adams, are hereby held harmless from all liability and loss associated with the information and discussions provided, and as to any action or strategy you may choose to implement with regard to the same. So this evening's presentation is going to look like this. First of all, I have a message from Tony that I'm going to be playing for you here in a little bit. I'm going to go over what's called the Iqd Roundup. It's just a review. We're going to review the new website because I've made massive changes to the website, the introduction of a new affiliate option that we're putting into case, and then also a whole new area called While We're Waiting. Now, Tony is on the road. He has another venture that he's involved with, and he spends a lot of time on the road. I don't get to talk to him near as much as we used to. I mean, we would talk 2 or 3 times a day. And being concerned that he wasn't going to be able to make it here, we decided to go ahead and record a recording we did just a couple of days ago. And then I'm going to play it for you now. It's approximately 20 minutes long. A lot of really good information inside of it. So, okay, we're going to get her started, and here we go.
Welcome back, everybody. Bob's kind of doing a introduction here, or did an introduction on this thing, and this is kind of pre-recorded. And I apologize, you guys. I'm on the road, and it's all business related, so we squeezed this in. I'm actually in Rawlins, Carbon, Wyoming, so that's where we're at. But having a blast, having fun, and learning new things. So I wanted to take care of a couple things for you guys. And it's kind of my specialty. The first thing is the riots and Parliament and stuff like that. You guys, you couldn't imagine on how we benefit from this. It's a very good thing because the people are anxious. Look, you think the Iraqis know? Think about this. And the last time we had a conversation, last time I put up an audio with you guys, people were asking, we mentioned that, remember, that Iraq,
Okay, guys, you're going to have to make sure that you don't interrupt it. When you come in unmuted, it stops the playing.
Rate when they weren't dependent on the U.S. dollar, the country. This is before, the coalition government. They created the coalition government, and their value of the currency was phenomenal. It was high. Coalition government came in, and their currency collapsed, and then the West got them addicted to the U.S. dollar, and that's how we manipulate them. That's how we control them. All right? But the problem, what people don't understand, is the average Iraqi doesn't have dollars laying around. Only the elites have the dollars laying around. The Iraqi people use the currency that you and I have. All right? So there's 2 things that takes care of. It's not going to go electronic because there's just simply not enough of that infrastructure to be able to sustain that type of currency. That's one. Number 2, the people are anxious and they're sick and tired of it. They see the price per barrel, and they know the elites in the country, how much they're making. And it's not translating down to them. It's not trickling, religious reasons, stuff like that. But the underlying, it's just like in Egypt when the Brotherhood and all that stuff in the Middle East, they had all those riots. You guys, the price of bread in Egypt went up so high, the value of the currency was so low that people literally couldn't afford to buy food for their families. That's what starts that types of riots and stuff like that. All right, so It's very good to be pushed. It's also in conjunction with Iraq talking about on their banking sector, how they're improving their banking sector. You know, they were with one of the ambassadors from France within the banking sector, talking about how things are good and how they're plugging everything in. Iraq is planning on taking their currency and causing it to go international. Now, it already is international with a real rate. Remember, you guys, the challenge for you, all right, if you don't think that the Iraqi currency is manipulated, then you're in the wrong investment. Because there's no other way to say that, you know, I got an email from a gentleman, and I get this all the time. You know, name another country where the currency has raised in value as much as these guys say it's going to raise overnight. And I stated, it's like, look, you're asking the wrong question. The question is, you know, what country has a country that devalued their currency, manipulated their currency? And you start seeing, you know, to their advantage. You look at China, you look at the United States. Before World War I, you look at Germany, you look at England, you look at France, that triangle of competition. And you start looking at how they devalued their currency. The only way a country, like if you take Zimbabwe, right? Zimbabwe will never go up. Why? Because it was never at that rate in the first place. Iraq is trying to get rid of artificial inflation. So you have to know the value of the currency in the past, and then you know, that question will be answered for you. Yeah, it can go up. Look at the Deutschmark, how it went down. Then, you know, it built itself back up. Germany's one of the strongest economies on the planet. What about the British pound? What about the Spanish currency? Everything goes down and goes back up. So there's 500 years of evidence on how a currency can be washed out and then built back. All right, so don't worry about that. But that's still the wrong question. The question is, you know, the Iraqi currency was at a certain rate. What got it down below its rate? Now, what's their number one source of income? It's oil. Guys are selling more oil now than they ever have at a higher rate, all right, price per barrel. And that's where people have a problem in that translation. They don't realize that. It's a manipulated currency. It's not a currency starting at the bottom, like Zimbabwe or some of these, you know, that's way off, all right? I'm not telling people what to do, but you guys know what I think. I'm not telling people what to invest in, but you guys know what I think, all right? That would be, you know, one of those currencies in Africa or something like that that's always been low, and it doesn't matter the industry around them. It's always been low. Now, that's harder because you got to build it up. You got to get people to believe in it. Iraq has already been there. People know it's artificially, in fact, I can take it to courts. We have all the evidence on the planet that you had General Petraeus and these guys talking about how they manipulated the currency, got it down, brought it down even further. All right? So it's that simple. That's where it's at. It's that, you know. So real quick, you guys, and then I got to go, and I'll let Bob do his presentation, what I've been waiting for a long time. People are asking me, I'm getting hit by tons of these email on, are you worried about a new currency reserve that's going to replace the dollar? You guys, whoever's putting that garbage out there is a retard, all right? The dollar has never been stronger. There's more people using the dollar today than there ever was, and it is because of the conflicts on the planet. It's an insurance policy, all right? That's number one. And then who's going to replace it? And think about this. The United States created the IMF and the World Bank. We created that. We created that to expand our markets. That was the whole point. The IMF was a platform we can use. Remember, Cold War, you had Russia versus the United States. What was in the middle? What was at stake in the middle? It was these third world countries. And our banking process and our system, we created the IMF to give third world countries loans, so we can diplomatically influence them towards our way of thinking. You know, that's what we did. So people keep there's this weird conspiracy out there where the IMF and the World Bank is competing against the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar created those institutions. The U.S. dollar, when they give out loans, they're giving out in U.S. dollars. All right, so they pool other countries' monies together and stuff, but guess what? It's translated into U.S. dollars. When they start using it through the SWIFT system, it's the U.S. dollar. So these people who are putting that stuff out there, they're so full of shit. They're so off It's disgusting. And the thing about it is you guys are innocent. You're asking me a legitimate question saying, hey, should we look at this? I want to know, do I need to be worried about this? And I'm telling you guys, you don't. It doesn't make sense. The people who created the IMF and the World Bank have the strongest currency on the planet. It's called the U.S. dollar. And they're going to replace it with what? Who? How? What are they going to replace it? Oh, the gold standard. Oh, bullshit. Or they're going to replace it with a basket of currencies of Europe. So let me tell you this, guys, one more damn time. The United States created the IMF and the World Bank. It's backed by the U.S. dollar. None of that stuff makes any sense at all whatsoever. The only place it makes sense is it comes off the internet from nobody's, from no one's. They have no authority. You don't hear any of this talk from any of the banks in Europe, any of the banks in the United States, the people who are actually into banking. And so that's what you guys have to worry about. 1 second, you guys. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. So just take a chill pill, all right? There's something that I want to throw out there. Think about this. A lot of people sending me these questions, it's the same guys, and I'm not offended. You guys, as many questions as you want, that's what I'm here for. But there's something that you have to understand. How many years have you been following that? They're never right. It becomes a religion after a while, or it becomes part of your religion. I'm telling you to step away. Don't read it. Do not read it. You're not anticipating anything. You think, well, I'm reading this, I'm anticipating something bad coming down the road. No, you're not. They've been wrong for 40 years. They've been wrong for 50 years. When did they start the John Birch Society when that crap started? They've been wrong ever since. Period. End of story. You want proof? The dollar today, 2022, is the strongest currency that the world has ever seen. And a lot of people get that confused. So let's say if the value went down just a little bit. It doesn't matter, you guys. It's compared to who? Not only that, but how many customers and business partners, country-wise, the United States have compared to everybody else? That's where you start comparing and start doing the math. And guess what? There's not somebody out there that's got secret information that says something else. Are they talking about that in any of these sites? No, they're not. They get you wrapped up in emotion and they attack. And that's all they're doing. Nothing more than that. And you're addicted to it. And you need to stop. And I'm saying that out of absolute respect and love. Me and Bob talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time because we worry about people. It's like, people are worried about stuff that does not exist. Do not worry about a world currency reserve. Do not worry about a world government taking over the world. I don't care who said it, who wrote it, how they wrote it, where it came from what time frame, from what God, all right? The world is becoming, I talk about geopolitics. The world is becoming multipolar, you guys. You have where two countries are competing against each other. That's bipolar, one side and the other. Then you have, a country that has one superpower, or a world that has one superpower. I'm sorry. The United States was there for a long time. And now, because of demographics, China and Russia and the way they're competing, and not only that, but it really has nothing to do with what they're doing. It's simply demographics. If you want to know why Putin took his shot when he did, it's because of his population. China's going to do the same thing. China's going to lose half their population by 2050, 2060. Why? Because they're getting older. They didn't have enough kids. They screwed themselves in the 60s. There's no math. How do you fix that real quickly? You can't. All right, so the world's breaking up into smaller chunks. So what is the reaction from the United States? Well, guess what? We don't need a Navy over here anymore because we don't need to protect our markets. Demographics have taken care of that. And so it looks like the United States is kind of pulling back a little bit. We're not. We're simply looking at different markets. We're gauging their age. We're gauging who spends money and who doesn't spend money. We're gauging who can be employed, who can't be employed. And saying, well, we're not going to invest over here. We're going to go invest over here. But the world is changing that way, the demographics. China's screwed. Russia's screwed. All these countries, you guys, you don't realize what an important situation they're in. It's over. All right? So that's the only way that you look at the world, because that's how Putin's looking at it. That's how Xi's calculating it. That's how it doesn't matter who the president of the United States is calculating it. That's what's coming down the road. All right. So you're seeing these markets change. But in the meantime, if you look at what the United States is doing, we're gaining markets. We're also, if you look at what Trump did, and Biden hasn't messed this up, he did the biggest deals with the biggest regions and the biggest countries that had the best demographics. It's because these schmucks in these other countries and other regions don't understand that. They're going to find that out. They know now. I promise you, they know now. So that's the game. That's what's happening. That's what's fascinating. But nobody's about to replace us. If we go down, the world goes down because we created this system. The reason there's big markets is because of the United States. If the United States gets taken off, China can't. China doesn't have a navy to protect markets. What do you think they're so paranoid for? Russia doesn't have a navy. They'd get crushed in a minute. England could crush Russia's navy without the United States. They're nothing, you guys. They're absolutely nothing. Now they'll mess you up if you let them. They'll rip you off if you let them. But none of that matters. The demographics that's the story. That's what's going on. But there's nobody on the table that's about to replace the U.S. dollar, and the people who created the IMF and the World Bank, it's the same people who created the U.S. dollar the way it is today. So they're not going to, they would have no advantage. They already own everything. They've already got it. People addicted to a currency that they created. So it's just pure hogwash, you guys. What it is conspiracies. You different groups take that same conspiracy, they aim it, they weaponize it, and they pull the trigger. So it's up to you. It's simply up to you. But they're not going to be right. Like I said, they haven't been right since the 60s, since this stuff started. They're not right today. They're not going to be right tomorrow. So let's say if the value of the dollar goes down, compared to who? Everybody's currency would go down then. Because we are the big, you guys, we are the big one on the planet. End of story. If our markets go down, everybody else's markets going down. And they don't want their markets to go down. So don't worry about that stuff, all right? Be careful what these guys say. I would say step away from it. You guys, I read the news, but I don't sit there and listen to it. I don't watch CNN, Fox News, any of that stuff. It's pure garbage. Once you find out they're just competing against each other, and it's a mudslinging contest, you just back away. You don't need that in your life. Become a Puritan. When somebody passes policy, it's like, okay, now we have something solid. There's no opinions on one side or the other. This is a law. This is what's going on. There's no opinions on one side or the other. This is a law. This is what's going on. And that's it. That's how you follow it. That's how you're a happy person, is avoid.
Scott, you've got to stay muted.
And you can't imagine how these people absolutely just sit around and create lies to aim it at their enemies, people they're competing against. The evolution of competition, ladies and gentlemen. So don't worry about that, all right? Nobody's going to replace a U.S. dollar with the reserve, or somehow the IMF is a different globalist group and it's different from who's controlling the U.S. dollar. You guys, it's Anglo-Saxon banking, and we control the world, and we have the biggest navy on the planet that nobody's ever even been able to come close to competing against. That's why they call it the Anglo-Saxon world. We control it. The only thing that can change that is demographics. And we don't see that. The next time we'll look will be in 2060. Take a good look at it, see what's going on. But in the meantime, you look at these guys are competing against us, and their demographics are beating them up bad. All right? Russia, when USSR broke up, they lost half their population. What do you think Putin's trying to do? What he's doing? He's going after Ukraine, all these countries, trying to rebuild his population back. And make sure that these Eastern Bloc countries that have resources don't cheapen the value of energy by competing with Russia in the energy markets. That's it. Nothing more. It has nothing to do with Jesus or gays or fighting the good fight or anything like that. That's the problem that people are having. They're lying to themselves or they're being misled. So you look at the math and you look at the policy, everything is good on Iraq. You look at the math, you look at the policy in the United States. Are we going through inflation? Absolutely, you guys. Cycles. And guess what? It is a man-made inflation process we're going through. It's because of the price of energy. Makes you think when you vote now, all right? You know what I mean? They said they were going to raise the value of energy. They were going to do it. But, it is what it is. And I'm not going to hate anybody because they voted differently. But there's consequences. But it is man-made inflation. We will get out of it. So don't worry about that. The country's not going down the tubes, ladies and gentlemen. The world's not about to end. And there's nobody about to take over the whole world. It's splitting up into smaller pieces. It's splitting up into smaller pieces to where you have the states that will be competing against individual corporations because corporations will be so powerful. So the nation state is losing its status. So with that, you guys, I'm just trying to cover the questions that I'm getting from you guys, and I always see people fear of something that does not exist, and Bob knows, it doesn't make us angry. It doesn't. It just is like, worried about nothing. But with that, you guys have any questions, please hit me up at brightlingcurrency@gmail.com, and I'll try to do a recording as soon as possible, you guys. You guys know I'm kind of in the middle of doing business here. So I'll try to do one as quickly as possible or try to answer your email for you individually. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed Bob's presentation. It's gonna be good. I can't wait. And I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks all.
And that was messages from Tony. Just as a note to this right here, several things that he brought up. I want to kind of emphasize it a little bit more before we move on. First of all, yes, the questions that we both have been being asked, they're legitimate questions, but a lot of that is centered around the information that's being fed from sources who have an agenda. I know that I've been invited to participate in other supposed gurus' formats, offer my opinion, and I don't do it simply because opinions don't matter. They make no difference at all. The only thing that opinions do is shroud themselves inside of emotion and create energy around fear, which is not what we're after. That's not the whole name of the game. So, first of all, thanks for Tony for taking the time to share with us. I mean, Tony and I, like I said, we used to talk 2 or 3 times every day, but since he's been on the road, I don't talk to him for probably a week, sometimes even more. And the fact that he was willing to take the time to sit down and record this to share with you tonight is an indicator of what he's really all about, and I deeply appreciate him. All right, so we're going to move on this
Welcome back.
And we're going to do the Iqd Roundup because it is summertime when all the rodeos are going on. I couldn't resist it. So this is what it looks like. This is just going to be a real quick review. I'm not going to go through all of the different things that I've gone through before. I've sang this song until I'm blue in my face, but I am just going to highlight it and present it another way. Now, one thing I've learned about teaching is that one approach will never always work. And I don't know if you ever noticed, but in all my webinars that I've done or recorded, I have a different approach almost every single time. I have different slides, I have different statements, I have different ways of doing it. Tonight is a different way of doing it. This is just going to be a quick roundup, and then we're going to go on from there. So first of all, we all know that it's the currency of Iraq. It was created during the Iraqi war around 2003. It replaced the previous currency that was once had a value of 375. You need to understand that 375 was artificially inflated. It was done by Saddam himself. It's managed by the Iraqi government and the CBI. It's considered under a managed float with little change in value for nearly 2 decades. For those of us who've been in this game that long, the current value is, for one, 0.000685453 in USD. Less than 1/10 of a penny. CBI, or the Central Bank of Iraq, has often stated their goal is to return to previous levels, and they've already stated for years now that they could support $1.17. Now, Tony and I have talked about that numerous times in our previous presentations. Even when COVID was going on and the oil prices were down so low, they could have still done 60 cents somewhere along that line. But right now, with all these new contracts that are coming in, and with the value of the oil being what it is, I wouldn't be surprised if it did come out at a much better rate than what we thought. The value has been retained thus far as a strategy to complete the infrastructure and the economy before evaluating. You know, a lot of people thought it was really weird. They were under mandate to have to repay Kuwait. But instead of doing it with a hyperinflated currency, they just did it at the rate that they did. Now, at the end of World War I, Tony touched on that real briefly, with Germany, they got beat and they got told, okay, now you've got to go out and repay all this damage that you've done. And they just simply went out and printed more notes and handed them out. Well, obviously the notes fell in value and there was nothing left to it. Well, that's not what they did here. They simply did it with a very controlled float. Now, we, as private holders of this currency, you need to understand that's really important. We hold these notes in our hands. Okay? We're considered speculators, anticipating a gain from this revaluation. Now, here's a few facts about the IQD from a tax perspective that I want to re-emphasize for you. First of all, it's going to be ordinary income, meaning it doesn't get the favored tax treatment that a capital asset would. Now, and later I'm going to show you something on the website where I have 3 different currency situations, and you'll see the tax application is different for each of them, even though they're currencies. They are all treated differently. The taxes due will be calculated by your personal tax bracket and your marital status when you exchange the IQD for the USD. We've always called this a taxable event. The tax brackets, they didn't change from the Trump administration, but the amounts inside those brackets did change. Now, the maximum taxation in the IQD exchange would range from about 37% for the federal, and then we have California that wants to add 13% more. So you're looking at 50% you're going to lose in California. Anyplace else, you're going to get at least 37%. So exchanging the IQD in a high amount is going to be a costly event. Now remember, you got into this particular investment for a reason, whatever that reason was. To give up half of it just because you want to panic isn't good thinking at all. So there can be other taxes applied if you exchange more than $1 million in any given year, and that's going to be dependent upon the federal. We know that the current administration really wants to change the cap on the estate taxes immediately. So far they've been stopped. They do want to add an extra 3% tax on anybody who cashes in more than $1 million. Any funds and properties you acquire could be exposed to estate taxes on your passing. So that's the nasty part. Now, determining a plan before the revaluation could literally save you millions in taxes. It could provide you a lifetime of income and offer potential tax-free exchange using a Roth and satisfy those personal legacy and charitable desires. Now, guys, what you saw right there is pretty much everything I've been singing at you for, what, 7 years? Somewhere along that line? That's pretty much it. This is the whole thing when it comes to taxes. Now, how do we deal with it? That's what we're going to cover next. So I created a decision tree. It's kind of simple. You got the IQD decision tree. You got IQD held, the freedom tax where you just cash it out, the Roth, and the Sherman Unit Trust. Now, during this presentation, I want you to watch the red boxes that go around these particular boxes that are on here. It'll help add clarity to everything. So, there are obviously some considerations before applying the decision tree. And this would be, how much IQD do you have? If you have less than $2 million, then options are going to be really limited. There's not a heck of a lot that can be done as far as, if you're going to hold right at $2 million. The other one that's really a difficulty is, how old are you? Okay, you may not qualify for some of these strategies because you're too old or too young. Can you qualify for a Roth? The questions are age, income, rollover. Those are considerations. And then would a Sherman Unit Trust or a CRUT be something that would use to satisfy financial security, reduce the estate taxes, and provide a lifetime of income and meet those legacy and charitable desires? So, let's go talk. All right. So for the past 20 years, all of us have had the opportunity to secure our IQD notes based on. Now, I'm going to tell you a personal story before we go on. I was living in Utah at the time that I got introduced. My best friend at that particular moment had been into all kinds of MLMs. He was into it, and he was sharing friends, and they were all listening to gurus, and they kept singing the same song. It's imminent. It's going to happen at any time. It's going to be $3 plus, and all the way to $12 plus or whatever. Okay? And so because he was a friend and because I listened to him, I thought, okay, I can see the possibility. I know, because I am a history buff, I know what happened at the end of World War II with the Marshall Plan. I know how valuable it worked because they were managing the value of the currencies at that particular moment. So, yeah, it's something that I think I can do this. I do this. And so I believe in the anticipated revaluation. I haven't gotten rid of my notes. I'm still fully planned on that coming to fruition. Now, the other thing is, how much funds did you have available? And what was the desire to be met with the anticipated gains? Now, if I know that for me, I took a look at it and said, okay, I'm going to be a skeptic. I'm going to say it's going to come in at a dime. So I made sure that I bought enough IQD that if it came in at a dime, I could retire. Just on that, let alone anything else that I may have. Just on that. And that was the basis that I came from. So what was it that I was after? I wasn't after a mansion. I wasn't after, a whole bunch of different things. I just wanted to be able to have enough money to be able to retire comfortably and not have to worry about anything anymore. And that was my main goal. That has not changed. And even though it's been 15 years for me at this point in time, and I've done all the things that I've introduced to you to do, okay? The CRUTs, the Roths, the whole show, I've done them all. I've done them all, okay? And at this point in time, it's a little bit different for me because I've had it long enough. All my IQD is sitting in my Roth at this point, so all of it's going to come to me tax-free. So if you have less than 2 million IQD, you really got some limited strategy options. And I'm going to share those with you right now. So you may consider looking at your desires that you want to accomplish. Did you want to get a house? Do you want to pay debts? Do you want to do charity, family, whatever it is? Objectify what your investment reasoning was. What was it? Tony said that many times. I've said it many times. When you set it out as a clear, objective goal, you can see it. Oftentimes you'll hear people talk about their dream boards they put up. They cut out pictures, they stick them on there, and then they focus entirely on that, and that's what ends up happening because they've got their attention on that. Well, it's the same thing here. If you objectify this thing, and by objectify I mean you put an object in the middle of it, it does make it much easier to be able to be clear. So my invitation is, why did you get into it? What is it you want to accomplish? Now, before you jump, get professional help. Get some help, okay? It's going to be so easy because those two emotions, fear and greed, are still going to come into play. It's going to be easy to want to just jump. Say, yeah, I have 2 million, I'll get 1 million out of the deal, let's go for it. Well, 1 million is great, but, buying a house and all these other types of things, and then once you buy a house, how are you going to sustain it? Maintenance, taxes, living, how are you going to sustain it? So one thing you may consider is just exchange a small amount to reduce your tax exposure and then buy the large items like the house and everything on time. And then go from there. Now, I hate this next thing I'm going to tell you because I think it's horrible. But one thing you can do is potentially invest the funds to meet your payments. Now, what happens when you exchange those funds and you go to put them into an investment? You're going to lose a major chunk of it. Gone in taxes. And then when you invest it and you have a gain come off of it, guess what? You get taxed on that again. This is why the strategies that we've been sharing with everybody takes a look at how can we avoid that very problem. That very problem. So look at the screen up here at the top. You'll see that the IQD held is in a box and the freedom tax is in a box. Okay, that's pretty much it. All right. Now remember, when you exchange that IQD, you have a taxable event. You just obligated yourself to have to pay taxes. All right, so let's just say you got more than $2 million and you want to go play with the Roth. All right, so when you have more IQD, there's a lot more options to be able to play. Now, got to remember one more time, you can't use your IQD held. Notice that there's no box around that. The only thing that you can do with the Roth is you have to buy more IQD. Now, obviously, you can sell some of your IQD and then repopulate it that way, and we've encouraged people to do that in our membership, and it works real simple. It's great, okay? So most likely, you're going to want to exchange some of the opportunities when it presents itself. Everybody's going to want to. Now, remember, anytime you exchange, one more time, I'm reemphasizing, you've committed an obligatory step. You're going to owe taxes on it. So you may want to have the opportunity to exchange your IQD in a completely tax-free environment. Now, I say tax-free environment, and you have to understand, that's kind of complicated to a little bit because inside the umbrella of the Roth and inside the umbrella of the CRUT, we can exchange things, invest things, buy and sell things, and not have a taxable event. That's why it's so important you understand that. So here's some considerations. Number one is your age, all right? Because if you're too young, it could get really frustrating not being able to get access to it till you're 59 and a half. And if you're too old, it could be frustrating because you got to wait 5 years before you can get to it. So the other consideration is the income and a rollover. If your income to contribute to a Roth must be active, it's got to be a W-2 or 1099 or self-employment, and it has caps. By that I mean if you make too much money, they're going to limit how much you can put into your retirement account. All right, and the type of Roth. Now there's two Roths that will work for our IQD. One is the precious metal Roth, which is the easiest to set up with less IRS compliance issues, and then the one Member LLC Roth, which is a little more complex and has a greater exposure to IRS complex issues. Now, held IQD, one more time, cannot be put directly into a Roth. It can't happen. And your Roth must purchase the IQD to show ownership. Now, I'm going to step into how, very quickly, the precious metal Roth works. Okay, you establish an account with a custodial service that offers the precious metal Roth. There are only 6. That's all. There's only 6. Guys, my screen just went blank. Ron, can you hear me okay? There you go.
It all looks good to me right here, and I can still hear you, and I can still see.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it just went black. Okay, here we go. You have to contact an IQD dealer, and you arrange the purchase. You do not send them the money. And you have to remember you're limited to $6,000 or $7,000 a year. You send the funds for the purchase of the IQD to the custodial service. Then the dealer sends the invoice to the custodial service. The custodial service pays the invoice, and the dealer then sends the IQD notes to a vaulting service for storage. This is required. You cannot have those in your possession. They have to be somewhere separate from you. You pay the custodial fee, which is about $250 a year, and the vaulting service is $100 a year. And you can always add more IQD each year. Now, the cool part is, you know, within the caps, $6,000 to $7,000 per year, as much as you put in there, it doesn't cost you anything more as far as the custodial service and the vaulting service. They don't care. All right. Now, the other one is the one Member LLC Roth. Now, this has got some advantages, and it has some disadvantages. One more time, please notice, we've got the red box around the Roth. We can't do anything with our IQD that's held. Locating and establishing a Roth with a custodial provider offers self-directed IRA. This is the first step. You create an agreement for the management of the funds being in your hands. It takes a specific type of an agreement which they have to agree to. You create an LLC that's going to manage those funds and the operations of the Roth. You potentially create a C corporation to reduce unrelated business income taxes. That's UBIT. In my previous conversations, I've told you about that. If the Roth is used for other investments like crypto, real estate, business ownership, etc., you have to deal with one more type of a tax. You create a bank account for the LLC and the C corporation. You send the funds to the custodial service for the purchase of IQD, and they turn around and put it in the bank. And then you go buy it. Now, you cannot buy it from certain people. Family members are disallowed. You cannot buy it from them, but you can buy it from others. Now, for those of you who are members, you know I've talked about this, and you know you've had access to it. For those of you who are not members, if you join MaxPlans, one of the neat things that we do is we have the ability to announce to the group that we want to share some of our IQD. Now, the reason why we want to sell it is because we want to move funds into a precious metal Roth, but it has to buy it from a dealer. If you turn the IQD over to the dealer, you're going to get a 30% hit. Whereas if you just sell it for the same amount out here amongst our group here, you get the funds that you need to be able to get it straight across, and the person who buys it, they get to put it into their one member LLC, or they just simply want to acquire it. You secure the IQD notes in an accepted location, preferably not at your residence. I still recommend using the vaulting service, even if you have a one member LLC. The reasons why is A, it's secure, B, they can do the exchange for you. Okay, now one of the advantages is you can include other investment options like crypto and real estate in a one-member LLC Roth. Now the greatest disadvantage, and this is where it's always been a little bit, I've been a little, difficult with it, is that if you make a mistake and the IRS finds that you have, violated one of their compliance requirements, you could lose the entire tax-free benefit. So making sure you stick to that is really important. Now, the next thing that we're talking about is the Chairman of Unit Trust. Notice the IQD held box is in red, and the Chairman of Unit Trust is in red. So the Roth, the IQD you've got in your hand, you can actually use to populate your Chairman of Unit Trust. Now, so for some people who don't qualify for the Roth, this is really a great way to go. Why? At the very beginning, I told you if you exchange your IQD directly for money and then go ahead and invest it, you're going to lose potentially half of it in taxes. And then you're going to get taxed again on whatever the gains is from that investment. So doing it this way, you don't have that loss. It's not happening. And everything that goes on inside that umbrella is a tax-free exchange. It does not hurt anything. Now the CRUT, I'm going to explain it. I have this really neat, wonderful paragraph here that we're going to have to go through, but I think you'll understand it. The CRUT is an irrevocable trust. It's created to have either fully depreciated capital gain items like equipment or stocks, businesses, stuff like that, or assets considered ordinary income like our IQD, put into, then managed for a period of time by a trustee with payments going to a beneficiary for life or a limited time, usually 20 years, or until the passing of the beneficiary or the 20-year term. Now, the remaining funds in the trust are then released to selected qualified 501c3 charities, including a potential private foundation. Now, I'm not going to sing the song deep on this particular one, but I am going to tell you this much. A lot of people look at this and they say, well, the funds go away when I die. My family doesn't get it. Here's the way to make it get it for them. You select up to 6 charities when you establish your CRUT. As you go through life, you can go ahead and create your own private foundation. Your family would own it. They would manage it. They would get paid from it. And then when you passed on, whatever's in your CRUT would then go to that private foundation. It's a roundabout way, but it'll work. It'll work. Now, the CRUT is populated, meaning the funds are put into it, by your held IQD. There's no time constraints, not like the Roth where you have to wait 5 years and be 59 and a half. And the payments to be either monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. And the CRUT can also use an annuity to manage the funds, and which can offer guaranteed lifetime income, potential death benefits, so it's a life insurance that pays to the heirs on your passing, and potential long-term health care benefits. All of those are available from the annuity. And the funds in the CRUT can be invested in many ways. You're not limited to just one or just an annuity. You can split it up and do whatever you want to do with it. And the CRUT, here's the other part that's really cool about the CRUT, can handle additional contributions of varying types at any time. Now, what's really interesting is we have people who have set up their CRUT anticipating that the IQD was going to be the mechanism that was going to populate it and make it run, only suddenly to find themselves in ownership of millions of dollars from crypto. Well, it's a capital asset. What's cool about a capital asset is that when you make a charitable contribution with it, you get a massive write-off on Schedule A. We don't. We get very little on our ordinary income contribution. Now, these are charitable write-offs. They're available for different types of contributions. I just got to just talking about that just right there. All right. The other part that's really important is that the funds in the CRUT are not included in your estate. So the process for creating the CRUT looks like this. And I'm almost through with the roundup, guys. Document preparation, the average cost is usually about $5,000. For your IQD investments, since we do not know the revalued notes, they'll be held in a free or a controlled float. The timing to take advantage of the value would be critical. So creating the documents before the revaluation could be extremely critical. Signing the documents, getting an EIN number, and then after the RV, you locate a bank that does CRUTs. You open the bank account in the name of the CRUT. You exchange the IQD for USD and deposit it in the CRUT, and then you invest the funds in the CRUT. Now, the bank, they may have some acceptable options with over 5% return. Well, that would be cool because you're only getting 5% out of the CRUT. The other standard investment services may have acceptable options as well, and you may want to consider an annuity. We will be talking more about annuities this fall, guys. And then consider an annuity and then maybe some other options to go with it at the same time. Obviously, you're going to seek professional assistance to report the required documents for the IRS and review the value of the CRUT. Woo! That's the roundup. Now, that's not too bad, guys. It only took me 20 minutes. Usually I talk about this for an hour. But all of you, for the most part, have heard it many, many times already. For those of you who have already stepped into doing this stuff, welcome. That's just a real quick review. For those of you who have not done any of those things yet, if there's any in here, then my invitation is to make an appointment with me. And I'd be glad to have a conversation with you and see what our options are. Okay? So one more time, why is MaxPlans created? We have three things to accomplish: to reduce, defer, and eliminate taxes on investments, period. And it can be pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be just IQD. So potential taxes on our investments, the primary taxes are exposed to are going to be estate taxes, which is the most unreliable of all. They have radical changes with every administration. Now currently it's a little over $12 million per person, or $24 million for married, but they're expected to go to 25 and back to $5 million, or $10 million being married. So what does that do for our plans? This is why the gifting assignments are so important. This is why a CRUT is so important. These are the things that are going to help reduce that estate tax. Income taxes, your personal income tax bracket, they're adjusted by marital status and allow deductions and credits, and your state income and estate inheritance taxes are out there facing you. So the options we're offering would include, obviously, gifting assignments to reduce those potential estate taxes, the Roth to give you that tax-free return, and the CRUT for that tax-free exchange of your IQD with potential lifetime incomes, satisfying the legacy and the charitable desires. Now, this is it. These are the three things. They're vanilla. They've been tested, proven, and accepted. These things will work. They will work. But you need to do them now. All right. The other thing is you get access to our website for more information. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. And you don't forget you get a 30-minute moment with me. All right. So I'm going to go through some stuff now. For the last several months, I have been working on updating the website. And the reason behind that is that my daughter looked at it and said, "Dad, this is clunky as hell." Oh, thank you, honey. And the other part of it is I've been maintaining a whole bunch of different websites for doing a whole bunch of different things. And I'm kind of at that point in life where I don't want to do a whole bunch of different things. I want to be able to put it into one system and make it usable. So the members already know, I sent notices out to them twice, that we're not doing a membership website anymore. Everything's going to be just on one website, which is going to be MaxPlans for Life. I've also shut down Start Your Crypto, and I had a whole bunch of others I was doing things with. All of them are gone. I only have one website for us to be related to right here. All right? Now, I got to tell you, for the last 7 years, I've been really blessed to be able to share all this stuff preparing for the RV. And during that time, I've listened to thousands of messages, and I've made appointments, and hundreds have elected to use one or all of these options that MaxPlans brings to the table. Now it's time for us to look at moving up in the world. And we're going to take you with us. You're going to get introduced to some stuff tonight that is going to just kind of blow your socks off. Things I didn't even know, but I spent a lot of time researching and working with people to put it together. So first of all, the website's been modified. I'm going to go over that in a minute. The Iqd holders that created the CRUT, anticipating the time it comes, found themselves in a windfall crypto gain. I told you about that. So it's actually applicable in all kinds of different ways. Now, we're still primarily focused on the Iqd holders. But when you look at the website, you're going to see I don't talk a lot about the Iqd because it's totally applicable in other ways for other types of term planning. Now, to make this more relevant to others, I've changed the site generally to support all the different types of planning. So on that note, I am going to now make a change and show you some of the things that are available. All right. Welcome to the new website. You'll notice that right across the top, there are some changes and what's going on here. And I want to just briefly touch on those. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through everything that's there because there's a lot there. That was the clunky part my daughter told me about. Okay, so essentially, all we're doing is we're dealing with windfall gains. That's what this whole game is all about. That's it. Under examples, I have a particular thing that I want to show you. You see right here, we're showing exotic currencies, forex currencies, and cryptocurrencies. Each one of these, even though they're currencies, are treated differently. So we know that our exotic currency, the Iqd, is going to be treated as ordinary income. It's calculated on your personal income tax bracket and your filing status. Forex currencies, if you're investing in the Forex, which is all of the actively moving, actively using currencies that are out there, they're treated with a very special tax application of 60% as long-term capital gains and 40% short-term, no matter the holding period. You don't have to hold it for a year plus to be able to get 60% that way. And then the last one is cryptocurrencies, which is treated as a capital asset, meaning if you hold it for more than a year, it's going to have a long-term capital gain, which is really, 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 really great. Now, what I've done is I've gone through each of the different portions that I just got through sharing with you and put it here in the website. I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm just simply telling you that it's there. The opportunity to make a free 30-minute consultation is there. For those who would like to join, this just briefly reviews everything that's there, and then here's the option to be able to join. I also added the latest videos, which means that if you ever want to see the latest ones that I have done or that Tony has done, you can just go to the website and get them. They will always be updated there constantly. Also, I would encourage you to click on that those keys to get inside YouTube so that you'll be able to be notified all the time of when a new one comes out. But either way, it's always going to be here. Now, members, for those of you that are coming on board, okay, I've shut down the other website. I told you I was going to on the 1st of August. I actually got it done today. Okay? Just as a reminder, because we moved it to a new website, you're going to have to go in and give it a password. Your email's there, but you're going to have to give it a password. And that's a simple little process. It's no big deal. When you do that, here's the pages you're going to be able to access. See right here, I have to sign in because I was out of it. All right. All of the pages that we had available previously are now in a blog format. Now, what does that mean? That means over here, you can pick out the different sections that were important to what we were doing, what we discussed, and the same thing I shared with you. All the webinars, all the educational material, it's all in here, but it's much easier to find and to go through. Now, I'm going to be updating this particular part of it. This is the blog section, okay, which members only can access. Now, I'm working on another project, which every week I'm creating a new course. I'm going to take portions of that and stick it in here for you. That way you'll be able to see more also what I'm doing. All right? Then, also, we're going to talk about becoming an affiliate, which is going to be the next thing we're going to visit with. And then also tech support tickets. So if you've got any kind of an issue of any kind, that's how you get it. I'm not going to go into while you're waiting right at this moment, and I'm not going to go into becoming an affiliate because I have something else I want to show you first. The contact us is there, the downloads are there. All those things that were available before are now here, which means that non-members and members can be notified at the same time if there's anything going on. I don't need 2 websites. I only need 1. And I can contact members by themselves, or I can contact everybody else by themselves, or I can contact all of you. So if we have an important event that comes to fruition on Friday at 3 o'clock, I can notify all of you very easily. It makes it simple. So, as a reiteration to it, for those of you who are members, yes, you're going to get access to all this stuff here. And for those of you who have not joined yet, you're going to want to. You're going to want to. Okay? Alrighty. I'm going to just move this down for just a little bit because we're going to go back into it later on. But I want to talk to you about becoming an affiliate. This is kind of interesting, and this is a personal thing one more time. I usually don't share a lot of my personal stuff, but I am going to do this one. No. For those of you who have attended all the webinars and you made appointments with me and you purchased our service, okay, I want to give you an opportunity. Tony's been telling me to do this forever, and I've held back for several reasons. One, partially because the federal rules in marketing are very particular. So marketing out on social media and things along that line, there's certain things you can do, certain things you can't do, all that kind of fun stuff. Those of you who become affiliates, you will be educated in that. You're going to learn something. It'll be applicable to everything else you ever want to do for your own personal business, but you'll learn it from us. And the other one is I just couldn't see how to do it. I could not see how to make that work with something like this on a public social thing. So now I'm kind of past right now, and I'm ready to open the door because I know a lot of you have just about as much understanding of this thing as I do at this point in time. And I've been sharing the tools. You've been sharing and telling people to come see me. Well, now let's make it so you can get paid for it. First of all, you have to be a member of MaxPlans. And the reason why I put that is because I know you've seen enough webinars, you've met with me, we had a conversation, and you've purchased something, which means that you know how the system works. Okay? When you elect to become an affiliate, you have to fill out an application and a W-9 document. That way we can get you the 1099 at the end of the year. And then once you've completed those, you'll be contacted and have a short meeting with me. Okay? Pretty dang simple. Your marketing for now is limited to word of mouth, acquaintances, and family. I don't want you going on social media yet. And then you must remind those who you introduce to include your name when completing the questionnaire and the invoice. Okay? Now, I will notify you. I will contact you to say, yes, John Brown signed up. He's your client. Congratulations. All right? And then you'll get 10% of whatever it is that they pay, whatever that looks like. And then you'll get paid by check at the end of each month. I mail those out. I want to go into the next one, which is while we're waiting. You saw that on the website that was there. And I'm going to go back to the website real quick. Into the while you're waiting. We have been waiting a long, long time. For me, it's been 15 years. Tony said it a million times. I've said it a million times. There's more options that are out there to be able to make money and satisfy that goal that you have than just the IQD. And even though we've got one really big ostrich egg sitting in the nest that we're holding as our retirement or whatever it's going to be, it needs to be surrounded by other eggs as well. We're going to get personal again just for a second. Most of you probably already know I'm 70 years old. Okay? I know when I go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and see that guy facing back at me that either that mirror is really old, needs to be replaced, or it's the truth. I am that old. And I have really loved my career in doing taxes and helping people in that arena. I've really loved being with you guys. All I've done is share with you what I did. But I had access to some really great professionals in setting it up. And so I got to use my attorney, set this whole thing up, and been sharing it with you. I have been blessed doing this. I've loved it. But I also know that I have a lot to offer. It's not just in the IQD domain. When I ran my tax business, my primary concerns and the things that I did the best at, I loved the technical side of electronic filing. Enjoyed it immensely. I was one of the first 3 test sites in the state of Idaho when I was living at that particular time. The IRS invited me to speak at every level they had, regional, district, national. I spoke promoting electronic filing. I spoke promoting electronic filing for the software company I was using. They had me go out to Florida. They had me go to South Carolina. I've spoken all over the freaking United States, teaching people about the advantages of electronic filing. I also stepped up and did some other things technically that was advanced beyond what anybody else was doing. My particular tax business, my first year, I had 12 clients. When I finally let it go, I had 4,000 clients. I had 3 offices. I had 35 employees. It grew that big. The primary thing that I loved doing was working with businesses, because creating strategies for me is a wonderful game. I've enjoyed it immensely. And I've kind of taken that and put it to work with you guys. These are the strategies. Now you'll notice over time I've added new ideas and thoughts, like the private foundation idea or some of the other ideas. You know, take a look, take a look, take a look, take a look, take a look. And the reason behind it is because I'm always looking and I'm always learning. And so for the last 2 years, particularly the last 2 years, I got to tell you in all honesty, I have been looking to expand my world. I have a lot to bring to the table. I know I have a lot to bring to the table, but I didn't have a way to do it. I didn't have a way that would make it feasible to be able to share that. So 2 years ago, I got into crypto. And I've done mining, and I've done all kinds of different things inside that particular environment, learning it. The technical side, I wanted the technology. I wanted to see what my options were. How can I make it tax-free? How can I share it with others? And we tried a couple of different things. But I do know this much. I have a lot to bring to the table. And I also have somebody else that I work with. Most of you have probably heard of Duggar, who has also brought a lot to the table. And so we've worked together now for a while and decided to create something called Rocket Enrich LLC. This is on our website. If you look under while you're waiting, it talks about passive income. What kind of passive incomes are there? How much would it cost to even start? I can show you how to get in the crypto world buying nothing. 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 I can show you how to make up to $80,000 if you're married and holding on to your coins for a year plus and exchanging them completely tax-free without a Roth. If you really want to get into bigger passive income, I can show you some of those too. I can show you all the secrets for tax-free income. If you want to create a business, well, guess what? I have a lot of experience in that particular arena. And maybe you prefer just having more retirement options from your business. So you create a business and you put it to work specifically only to populate your retirement. You keep your other job, but you can do that. And inside this particular program right here, you can take up to $56,000 a year and put it into a Roth. Pretty dang cool. And the other thing is, we have the tools now to help you grow, to be able to make this thing become something in a new world, which is that fourth industrial revolution that Tony's been talking about, forever. All right? So, just like you, I've been in it for 15 years. Like you, I used to live and die on the whisperings of the supposed gurus out there, and like you, I finally found peace in the knowledge and sharing from Tony. And for the past 7 years, I've had that privilege of working with Tony. And one thing Tony's taught me, and he's often said it, is, well, we're waiting for the Iqd windfall. There's other options. Tony has, he's entering that fourth industrial revolution. I didn't understand what he was saying. But recently, within the last couple of weeks, I really saw what he's talking about. The whole world is changing. It's all changing. And we can sit in the corner and watch it go by, or you can grab this thing and you can make a heck of a lot of money on it. A lot of money on it. So for the past 2 years, I've been in the crypto world, and then this last year, I've been working with Ron to introduce everybody to the crypto world. And it's become obvious to me and to Ron, okay, we both have got a lot of experiences in many fields related to passive income, taxes, online business options, and generally, we just know a whole lot of stuff. And it's valuable to others who are seeking options to expand their financial world. So here's what we're going to do. Ron, would you go ahead and unmute yourself, bro?
Yeah, I didn't fall asleep. I followed every word.
Oh, you the man. You the man. You the man. Okay. I am going to switch presenters.
Want to share that one. Hit continue. That should be coming up. Let me know when you see my screen.
There you are, guy. You're on.
All right. Hey, thank you, Bob, and great job. And also Tony, I'll have to tell him personally on a phone call or something, but just it's always nice to have some, authoritative speaks as it relates to the Iqd and where we're at with that, and generally just world affairs. So appreciate him as well. Folks, I am also an Iqd holder, and I have turned off a lot of the other chatter that's out there and rely upon Tony, certainly Bob, and it's been my privilege for the last little while to work with Bob, and he kind of threw down the gauntlet at me and said, we've got all these people that are, holding on to the hope of the Iqd. We hold on to that hope as well. We think that it's imminent, but there's nothing you can do, you or I can do, to make it go any faster. And so it's kind of a sunk cost to spend so much time because we've bought our ticket. This is a common statement from both Tony and Bob. We own our ticket. You can just set it aside, and I'll promise you'll be informed when it happens. And so really the gauntlet that was kind of thrown down, and we discussed it, was, what can we be making sure that we're not missing opportunities while we wait. And there are some things that in many regards will make the Iqd, dwarf inside of what's coming. And so it would be a mistake if we don't become aware of it and figure out how we can participate in it. And so the gauntlet that he put down, and he said, we got to have this ready by the call on August 2nd. And I said, are you kidding me? This is a lot of work to put the infrastructure together. Now we both have a lot of the content and experiences in various formats and ways that we can make an impact, but to put that together in a professional fashion and have it ready for consumption in bite sizes, and I'm like you. I listen to Bob, and I just get amazed at his ability to teach. And before we put him 6 feet in the ground, we need to get, as a group, as much out of Bob as we can. And so what he asked of me was, let's make sure that this community, and it's not just you, we have other communities that will be joining into this next part, but let's make sure that they are equipped with all of the things that are happening around in their world around us, and making sure that all the opportunities that are available that we can participate in, and those are getting more and more than they've ever been before, for the little guy to participate in things that have great capacity for growth and making some good money. So they mostly revolve around kind of the information age meeting the digital age on the blockchain. That's what I kind of coined. Just go back in a little bit, we talked about industrial ages, but when the internet started coming along, that kind of was the introduction to an information age. Now initially the web was kind of a colorful display ad of someone's business. Didn't do much, okay? And that's all it was good for. Well, you know, Web 2.0 started changing business as it is today. Almost all business is now transacted on a website, and it's interactive, and it's changed business forever, Web 2.0. Well, what's the digital age and blockchain? That's the next transition of information, and it's coined as the Web 3.0. And so that's where we want to make sure we're positioned well enough to take advantage of the next transformation. And what we've put together here is a business academy for the digital age powered by the blockchain. And so behind the screens here, behind the curtain, is going to be a way that you can consume lessons, courses that will help you understand and also take advantage of getting into this world and taking advantage of whatever opportunities exist there. And the instructors will be me and Bob, and also guest instructors on certain topics as we move along. So let me just kind of go through this website. It is entitled rocketenrich.com, and there's some you know, what's in a name kind of thing, and I'll share that in just a minute. Basically the home and stuff across here is kind of relevant, but our mission log is simply our blog, and you'll also find that a little down the road. So I just wanted to kind of, we've made this very, very simple. If you're going to go into business, I don't care if it's trading, I don't care what business it is, you first have got to have a vision, and you got to find your purpose that's driving you to go into business, okay? And you know, I don't know how much all of us, as it related to the Iqd investment, I'm sure we dreamed about how we're going to spend all the money, but what was our purpose? Some of us maybe thought that through, and others, you know, discovered over time that here's what I want to do, and here's how I want to impact. But it was very static. We're just in the waiting mode. And so, you know, what can we get involved with that is dynamic and can actually get to our purpose that we want to achieve, and do it without waiting? Well, in business, the next step you've got, once you've got that vision and the plan, is you got to get into the planning. You got to plan for success. And if you've never been in business before, the best thing you can do is really get advice through this process, and make sure that you don't make obvious missteps in that process. And so getting some training in this area is very, very important. Training over here in understanding yourself and your purpose is also probably, too many people skip that step, and it's probably the most important out of the whole thing. Your mindset has to be correct, and what it is. You have to define what it is you're all about. Then you go into planning, and then you launch, okay? Now, launching, some people stay in the planning mode so dang long because they got to get everything correct and everything right, and they never get to launch. And that's not a successful formula. I've put down here, and you want to click on this one, you can go into the Elon Musk case study, and this exact formula he's done to affect all these industries over here. He has a vision, he gets into the planning mode, and then he moves forward without recognizing that there's a chance for failure, and the whole idea of sending a rocket into space, you go do test flights, and he blew up several rockets in the process. And so you just got to move forward with whatever stage you are at in the planning process, and then gather information and tweak and make those changes. Okay, the same thing that Bob and I are doing here with this website. You guys, for the first time, are hearing this information, and this is the launch of this website and the launch of this venture, and you are hopefully going to be part of that process and give us the feedback that you're needing, the type of lessons that you would like to have us create. The rocket is the fastest man-made vehicle that's ever been invented at this point in time. That's part of our name, because what we're going into, this environment, it is moving so rapidly you can't even keep up. It's unfathomable how the blockchain is starting to affect every part of our lives, and it's happened very, very rapidly. And the opportunities are coming at us fast and furious. Well, enrich. That's the definition, to supply with abundance of anything that's desirable. So back to that vision, whatever that vision is, this website here and this concept is trying to enrich that for you, okay? So this is personal. You're not going to go into our business, you're going to go into your business. And so what is the mission objective of this whole experiment that we're doing, and this venture that we're doing together, and what we're trying to give to you and to others is we're trying to empower your vision, guide the planning, and initiate a successful business launch for our alumni, those that go through and consume our information, our lessons. This is a little bit about us and what motivates us, and basically our statement, you can read that, but as long as we're not dead, Bob and I are going to try to serve and educate and bring all of our 90-plus years of business experience and other experiences to you. I'm having a little fun here, and it's important that you have some fun. I'm an amateur astronomist, and I just love space. I'm an enthusiast there. So obviously you see the overall theme of the website being influenced by that. But you'll see Bob's bio, and of course those Maverick fans, those Top Gun fans. It's a wonderful sequel. Never watched a better sequel, but certainly he's one of our guest instructors, if I can ever get him. But anyway, we're having some fun with him in his bio. Down at the bottom here, these are the last 3 blogs, or what we call mission logs, and they show up at the bottom of the front page. Now, the rest of the stuff, you've got your My Academy. Once you have enrolled, that'll be a personal area behind the login that will allow you to access all of your courses that you have access to. The store is where you would acquire, and so the product that we really have here, it's an annual membership, basically, that gets you to all the content that's behind the thing. So it's $228, but we've got a special for you guys here, and we'll go over that in just a second. So basically, the only thing I want to really touch on right here, and there's some urgency to this, because this is just launching tonight. So free tickets to the world premiere of a documentary. It's a 9 episodes docuseries on cryptocurrency, and our friend Michael has put this together. He's gone all around the world and interviewed all of the influencers, or many of the influencers that are in this space. And so this will open your eyes to what we're dealing with, what we've got our hands on here. And one of our reasons of putting this platform together, this educational platform together, is to actually bring what you're going to hear in these video presentations and how to take advantage of it, realize it. So to do that, you're just going to fill in your name and your email, click the button for the free tickets, and then eventually you're going to be over to his website here. You'll have a chance to kind of get the free tickets. You'll have to enter your information there again, and this is what's on these information. I'll let you read it on your own, but basically the episodes, the Crypto Revolution, episode 1, episode 2, Beyond Bitcoin, Episode 3, a new internet, Web 3.0, as I just mentioned. The everything revolution. The rise of DeFi, that's the decentralized finance. The sovereign individual, Episode 6, the crypto versus fiat. Episode 8, the dark side of crypto. And Episode 9, crypto versus climate. This will be very, very enlightening, but the reason why it's important you do this tonight is today was the drop of Episode 1. You only have 24 hours to watch this. So as you get off the phone call tonight with us, you're going to immediately want to go to our site, but the way I'd suggest you go there, well, actually you can come over here and just go to the rocketenrich.com, click the free ticket tab, complete that opt-in there, and then you'll get the link over to where you can get those tickets. Then you'll get immediately some emails from Michael, and you can watch the first episode, and you only have the next 24 hours to watch that. Then tomorrow, you're going to get Episode 2, and the day after that, Episode 3, and you only have 24 hours to watch them. So this is exclusive material and information, so I suggest you jump on that. Now, one other thing, we showed you that platform. We have, because you guys are early adopters with us, a huge discount to jump into this platform and be privy to all the content that we put forward. Much of the room good stuff will be produced, and it will be behind this paywall and in this platform for just our paying customers. All of the videos are not out on YouTube. You won't find them. They're not even housed there. And so they're only inside. If you click here, you'll receive the 57% discount, $130 off, which brings the price down to the $99 a year. So we're going to hold that special going on for the whole month of August, and so you're welcome to share this to people that you think ought to be involved. It's free for these tickets, and we'll keep that link up on our website as long as it's available. That Michael keeps it available. Then you'll just hit your free tickets here. Invite all your friends to do the same. You don't have to join, the platform to get those free tickets, but it certainly will open your eyes to what behind the platform, what we're going to help you navigate. And so, Bob, did you have anything else you'd like to add to that brief presentation of what we're delivering here?
First of all, I'm not planning on dying soon.
I hope not.
And then also, I'm gonna steal the screen back from you.
All right, go for it.
And there we go. Switch presenters. Okay. This is back to our website. Under that link that says "While we're waiting," I have the link that's set right here to be able to go in and get access to that information. And if this is something that you're interested in doing, I would highly encourage you to consider enrolling. Notice that it's not something where we're here to try to sell you this, sell you that, whatever. There's nothing like that at all. The whole idea behind this particular concept is to show people how, in this new environment, this new world that we're stepping into, to be able to make money. Now, some people are going to say, I don't want to own a business. That's fine. You don't need to own a business. We're going to show you how to be able to invest without owning a business. But some people may say, well, I do want to do it and own a business. Why? Because I want to write off all my minors. Okay, great. We'll show you how to do that. All right? And if you want to get into any kind of a business, there's certain things you're going to have. Now, one thing that Ron didn't show you that was on there is that we do have some courses that are started. I've got one started on taxes in the United States. I'm going to be sharing and building a course. My goal is to do one every week, is to put a different course up, a different course, along with the blogging. Simply because, A, I believe in it. I have so much information after 31 years in the industry and understanding the technology that's behind it. I have a lot. I haven't even tapped into it because I haven't shared it with you guys. it's good information that would be of great value, and I'd rather have it put here than just going down a 6 foot under that Ron was trying to put me in. Okay, so that's what this thing is really, really all about, is the opportunity to be able to do that. And that's what I want everybody to be able to get, is this chance. So we're going to recap it real quick, and then we're going to open up the floor for some questions. So the gifting assignments, one more time, those are available with access to the website for those of you who are not members yet. For a mere $100, that's it. That's all it takes. The Roth assistance with the gifting assignments and the member access is $500. The CRUT, which is, like I showed you earlier, was a $5,000 package. You get it here for $2,500, and then the full package is $3,000. Now, all of this also includes that free 30-minute conversation with me. Now, you can probably talk to any other members, and they'll say, oh, yeah, we talked to Bob. Okay? Several people talked to me several times. You know, I'm here, just like Tony is, to answer questions. And anybody who's talked to me, you know I'm not a high-pressure salesman. That's not my job. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in only putting things together that are going to work. That's all I care about. That's it. That's it. So MaxPlans for Life is now more than just IQD. We can help people with other things, including crypto, which is going to be playing a major role in the change in the world that's going on. Our affiliates will get 10% of any client purchase. We don't have any other type of renewal fee that goes on, so there's nothing more than that. The affiliates can market to others outside of the IQD crowd, and members material and access now to the MaxPlans Web Life, you know, it's all there. The While You're Waiting page includes information from Rocket Enrich LLC with a link for that discounted fee. Now, this is for members and non-members. So if any of you have not joined up with MaxPlans yet, click that link and go ahead and sign up. Get that information on that free ticket stuff, because I've been doing it. It's really cool stuff. And then seriously consider signing up for it, guys. Really, it's going to be, to me, like Ron put it, I know it sounds kind of gross maybe. This is my last hurrah. This is what I want to give to the world. I want to take the information that I have and be able to put it out there for everybody else to be able to get access to it. So I'm creating a whole bunch of different courses. Some of them are even going to have quizzes in them to be able to help people to accomplish the things they want to do. I can help navigate through the tax side of it, the business side of it, the accounting side of it, you know. I can help on the crypto side of it because I've spent quite a bit of time playing in that particular domain. Ron, on the other hand, has not bragged about the stuff that he brings to the table, but he's done lots of stuff, and he's well qualified to be joined with me to be presenting this format to everybody. So I'm going to be talking about taxes, business creations, cryptocurrencies, and other passive income options. I want to show those to it. And because the material is being presented, if you have a business, let's say you have a business right now, that $99 is a write-off. You can use it for your business. All right, well, that concludes our presentation for this evening. We've gone an hour and a half. Regrettably, Tony's not going to be available to answer questions this evening. This on-road thing that he's in really does make it difficult for all of us. Tony just sent me a text saying that he would be willing to do another question and answer period at another time when he's available. And if we get that time put together, I will notify you. I will send out an email because now everybody's on one email. Yay! Okay, that makes it easier. So we're going to open the floor. Just a quick reminder for those of you to press star 6 on your phone to be able to unmute yourself, or you can press the microphone icon on your computer to do it. If others are posing questions, please keep quiet, okay, because I'm still recording this thing. And remember to pose the question to the person you wish to ask for it, which right now will just be Ron and I. And after getting your answer, please mute yourself back. And then if I've got overlapping background noises, I will mute those, waiting to reduce the background noise simply because, not because I don't love you, I just want a good recording. All right, so on that note, guys, we have approximately 30 minutes left. And I know that Tony's material that he presented was really good, and he and I have talked a lot, and so some of the information or something you may want to know, I may even have an answer or two for it. And then anything that has to do with MaxPlans, obviously I have. Anything that has to do with the Rocket Enrich, either Ron or myself can be able to answer it. Probably Ron better than I can. So let's open the floor. Who wants to go first?
Hey, Bob. John Hall here from Minnesota. How you doing?
John.
We've been in this a long time, and I enjoy all the information you guys give us. And welcome Ron to the group. It was very interesting. I'm part of MaxPlans for Life. I bought in at the very first level, but I got a sample of the gifting letters, and then I kind of lost track of the emails and some of the other things that are going on. So I'm kind of lost in that. Can I email you this week and say, hey, can you help me figure this out? Can you find me?
John, I'm going to make your life so easy, so easy. Okay, go to MaxPlansForLife.com.
Yep.
Go over to Members Only. The first drop down will explain to you how to get your password done. Okay? You'll go ahead and click on that. You'll put your new password in, and then you'll have access to the members' website. And everything is there. Everything we've ever had, it's all there.
Wonderful. That would be fantastic.
And I made it as simple to find. You know, I made a mistake in building my website because it was really my first time I really did it. Bless my daughter for calling it clunky. I mean, it was embarrassing to a certain extent. She's been really successful, right? But she was right, and so that's why I decided to do it the way I'm doing it. Now, I got to tell you, just as your own education, GoDaddy, which is what I've been using for this particular process right here, has been really good to work with. But that is a bare minimum website. It's not meant to do things that I make it do. In fact, I even showed them tricks to making it do things that they didn't even know it could do. And so I love working with it. But I got to tell you, the program that we're using for Rocket Enrich blows it out of the water. It is phenomenal. And for anybody who's looking at creating a business where they can share all the things that they've accumulated in a lifetime, that particular program is just like out of this world. It's got everything you would ever need for doing everything. And they have their own library, they got their own academy, they've got their own training, they've got everything to be able to help put that thing to work. So building a business off of that particular platform is incredible. When Ron showed it to me, I know I diverted somewhat on the question here, guys. I want to share this. When Ron showed that to me, it didn't take me 5 minutes to say, yeah, that's the way we're going to go. Because I knew the limitations I was running into with GoDaddy. And that thing will do it. So if you've ever considered doing your own business of any kind, but particularly if you have a career with some experiences, knowledge, things that are there that would be of value, this is the way to be able to put it out there and make money on what you know.
Well, I've spent the better part of 30 years as an insurance risk manager and an insurance agency owner.
How? You have a ton of information.
I've been around the block a couple of times in those arenas.
You know something? Have a conversation with Ron. Ron, jump in there. I saw you.
Yeah, I just wanted the people to hear this because this is really, really critical. What we're finding right now is a power struggle where the old guard is starting to lose their grip on the people. Okay, and that's all occurring because of the decentralization of things. And, you know, the people are actually, and this technology, blockchain, is ripping away the power structure. And it's, I mean, they're freaking out, okay? Now, right now, I mean, we've all enjoyed, you know, our social media accounts and YouTube and everything else. And they've had the opportunity to, because of all that, censure us if we get out of line. And we're experiencing a lot of that right now. Well, this transition on the blockchain with the digital age, it is going to rip away even that from them. In other words, right now they can shut off, your accounts and all of your posting, your blogging, and everything else if it's on their platform. So you need to get you and who you are and what you present and everything else out of their hands. It starts with having just your own website. But you actually can now put, this is all early now, but I own my own branded domain. Okay, it's me, and it's got a wallet, and so essentially, at some point in the near future, all of the content I can own. It's not out on the internet. It's in my wallet, and I just deliver it, but no one can shut me down. Okay, so that's the transition that's really happening right now with blockchain. We are getting very much empowered, and that power structure is being dismantled, and it's through this blockchain technology that's doing it.
Wonderful, interesting, very, very interesting.
I'm gonna throw one more note out there. Boy, John, you just opened the door, didn't you? Okay. In the cryptocurrency world, I read the news every day because cryptocurrency is now being mandated to be reported to the IRS through a very, very difficult way of reporting. Every transaction that you do in the cryptocurrency world, you have to account for, which means that every transaction, if you were to use a robot, I know that Ron can tell you about this, but if you were to use a robot which was able to manage to buy, sell on your behalf, little tiny bytes, okay? You see a gain. That's great. That's wonderful. You paid for a robot which cost you X number of dollars to be able to have it do this particular process for you. But when you got to the end of the year, I think, Ron, you said you had 80,000 transactions? Wasn't that it, Ron?
Yeah, on multiple exchanges. And problem was I would run it with one set of software that's out there and get a different number count, just above 40,000. So obviously there was some duplicating, and it was just a nightmare when it comes to tax time to deal with that. So what was my strategy, Bob? I love bots. I do love bots, but I'm going to do it inside my Roth IRA. Why? Why, Bob?
Because it's a non-taxable event.
And I do not have to account to the IRS for all of that activity and all that trading inside.
There's another bill that's been proposed by a couple of congressmen where any transaction under $50 does not require to be reported. So let's think about that for a minute. I'm not saying that's been put into play, but it's being looked at. So if it was put into play, you could have $50 every day of transactions that would be non-reported. So if you got enough gains going on with your transactions that you're doing, and you're pulling $50 a day out, times that every day, because the cryptocurrency world runs 7 days a week. You take a look at that, that's $15,000 a year that's coming in, not being reported.
Not reported, I like that.
There's so many things that's going on in the cryptocurrency world that is just amazing. But that's just one of the things. I have 7 different ways to be able to get Bitcoins or other types of alternate coins without buying a single one. Not one.
Not one.
So
all right.
Getting into cryptocurrency doesn't cost you anything. All right, John, I held you captive, my friend. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is great information. I need to learn about it. Crypto's been kind of a little bit out of my reach, just because I haven't had time to work with it. Now this is kind of getting me energized to do that.
Well, that's one of the things that we're going to be having. We'll have lots of courses in the program that's being presented. I'm writing one right now that just got started. It's on U.S. taxes. I'm showing the history of them. I'm showing you what they are, how they're calculated. All right? And when I get all done, I'm going to have a little quiz. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a result from that quiz, pass or fail or whatever that looks like, but the intention to it is a general understanding of taxes. General. I'm not talking about any strategies to reduce or defer or anything like that. I'm just simply saying this is what this tax is, this is why it came to be, and this is how it's calculated. That's it. That's a course.
We have something very similar up here in Minnesota. We have to take continuing education classes, and some of the classes we do have little quizzes. It's not meant to browbeat you and fail you and do anything like that, but it's meant to get that critical thinking so you begin to apply different strategies and ideas.
Yeah. And we've got a whole huge library of resources and material that we're going to put on this website. Courses in all kinds of different things.
Nice.
All kinds of different sources. So the whole idea is we want to open the world up so that our people are going to be able to see what's going on, to get enough of an education to be able to take and capitalize on that, to earn money outside of the regiment of this one little dream of the IQD, because that's still in the old world, and be able to get more out of it. So that's what that is. All right. John, I think we answered your question probably 20 times over.
Wonderful. I don't want to. I hope other folk get a chance to ask you guys some questions tonight. I look forward to reaching out to you guys the next day here.
All right. Awesome possum. All right. Thanks, John.
Hey, Bob.
All right. Who's next?
Hey, Bob. This is Lionel. Just a really, really quick question.
Yeah, Lionel, go ahead.
So you mentioned on your new website, some of the things that you're monitoring or you're helping folks out with is the Forex, exotic currency.
Not Forex. Yeah.
Right. Is exotic precious metals also included?
Precious metals are treated just like, well, precious metals are treated as a capital asset. So it's treated like cryptocurrencies or stocks, bonds, equipment inside of a business. They're treated that way. They're not treated as ordinary income.
Let me ask a question, see if I can define where the direction of the question was. Are you thinking that we might be advising on investing in different?
No, I'm already investing in, let's say, gold, right? So with an organization, well, this guy, he's a master trader for gold, right?
Got it.
So we invest in it. So I've made pretty good money on that. So I have that money sitting in an account. But then if I want to pull from it, I want to understand from a tax perspective, how does that affect me? Is there any way for me to...
As soon as you sell that gold, that becomes a taxable event.
Right.
So track it that way. It's just like a capital asset. You have to identify what it was, when you bought it, how much you paid for it, and then when you sold it, and how much you sold it for, and what was the gain or loss.
Yeah, short term would be under 1 year, and 1 year and 1 day is long term.
Yep.
Okay.
Did that answer your question, Lionel?
Yeah, it did. I just thought there was, somehow maybe I can talk to you offline, make an appointment with you, or just like the Iraqi dinar, there's deferred taxes, like you said, the CRUT or whatever the case may be, that I can probably roll that into. So when I do take it out, I'm not affected from a tax perspective too highly.
You want to know what the CRUT can take?
Yeah.
Anything.
Perfect. That's
anything.
Perfect. So I can just roll that into there.
Yeah, that's the cool part about the CRUT, guys. I realize, we're giving this out at half price. And I know everybody's thinking that, well, what happens if it doesn't come to fruition? And I have to agree. I mean, good grief. How do we know when this is going to come to fruition? We only lived this way for 2 decades. But I do know this much. When it comes to fruition, what we don't know is if it's going to free float or not. Because if it's going to free float, being that the whole world's been waiting for this to happen, it is going to be volatile. And it's going to have a lot of ups and downs. And being able to capitalize on that is why I encourage people to get the CRUT done now, so that there's no waiting. You can just get it done. But other thing is that why David the attorney, and I chose the CRUT was because you could put anything into it. Now, there's some things like a CRAT that you can't. You can only do one thing, one time, one payment, the rest of your life. That's it. You're done. All right? Whereas this thing, we have the ability to be able to put more into it at any time, reduce our estate situation so that we're not losing it, because we know darn well that in 2025 it's going to drop back down from 12 million to 5. And if the Democrats do by some miracle get control of it, I mean, Bernie wants to take it to 1. So, yeah, we've got to have a strategy to be able to work with this so that our families is going to be able to get more out of it. And the other part I like about the CRUT, well, you opened the door on this one, didn't you? The thing I like about the CRUT is that being able to establish a family foundation, you know, a private foundation, so that your heirs can be part of something, and the money would be a part of that for generations to come. It's great. And it's outside of the tax arena. It's wonderful. So, all right, cool. All right, who's next?
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
This is Chester calling.
Yes, Chester.
And thanks to all of you. It's pretty exciting. And just like the guy that was on the first question there, is that, and I missed out on part of it.
Okay.
Was that there was something about that if he'd signed up for guests, I can't even talk tonight. I'm wondering if I'm a member already.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm online right now. Where do I go and how do I verify that?
Okay, so you go to MaxPlansForLife.com.
I'm there.
Go to Members Only.
Yep, got it.
And it says Member Access page.
Yes.
Click on that.
Yeah.
Put in your email.
Okay.
And then click Forgot Password.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? And then it'll send you an email and give you the opportunity to create a new password. That's it.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. And then on that crypto series, it sounds like I really need to get signed up for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You got, instead of getting off the call and going and find something to watch on Netflix tonight, everybody should go straight to that.
No, that's where I intend to go.
Yeah, jump into that series. Michael's done a wonderful job on that, and it'll open everybody's eyes to what we got. Okay.
Okay.
What's there?
And I can do that after I've signed in here and gone over to my email, verified all that.
You can actually go to where it says While We're Waiting.
Yep.
You go down to the bottom and click on that link, and that'll take you to the landing page so that you can sign up there. But if you just go to Rocket Enrich, ROCKETENRICH.com, you'll see free tickets up there on the website. That's what you want to get.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, guys, and welcome aboard, Ron.
Yeah, thank you.
This is getting exciting.
This is going to be fun. This is how I look at. Hell, I'm old. I might as well go have some fun. This
Hey. You're not allowed to cuss online. You can't use that word. We are in positive denial, and that positive denial allows us to really do things that we normally couldn't do. But that three-letter word, baby, no, that's worse than the F word.
Yeah, I've gotten to where when I go in front of the mirror, I just close my eyes and let my imagination.
No. We're going to be changing, baby.
Embrace it.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, who's next?
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Martha.
How are you?
Good. Really quick question. Why is MaxPlansMembers.com up and running right now? I'm on the website. I thought it was shut off. It's what? Oh, okay. Just curious. That was it. Thank you.
No problem, Martha. No problem.
Okay.
All right. Who's next? Okay, well, we got to pause here for a moment. I want to tell everybody I will be sending out an email later on this evening / tomorrow morning, which will have a link to this presentation. It'll have another link also to be able to sign up for those items that we've got available through Rocket Enrich. Tony, like I say, he just sent me a text apologizing for not being able to be here tonight, that he'd be glad to do another event where we just have questions and answers. And when we have that opportunity, I will notify all of you when it's going to be available. And we'll just have an opportunity to step on Tony. It'll be fun. It's always fun when Tony gets on there and answers all these questions. All right. Anybody else?
Hey, Bob, it's Rick.
Rick, good to hear from you. How are you?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Thanks for the presentation. All three did great tonight. I loved it. Hey,
Good.
real quick, are you guys going to get into any more of the mining details and mining devices or anything like that?
Yes. Yes. See, Ron did mining for a long time, okay? I did mining for just a short period of time because I was just trying to learn it. I didn't want to really get into it in deep depth. And at that particular time, you know, it was just very expensive. GPUs were outrageously expensive, you know. But I've also found that some of these smaller miners that are producing, you know, $10, $18, $20 a day and drink like, you know, $1 of electricity a month, you know, there's all kinds of different options out there for mining. The other part is I need to show you, teach you, so that if you decide you want to do mining and you want to do it in your Roth, there's all kinds of caveats that have to go into play to make sure you're going to be able to get the full tax advantage of a tax-free return, but realize you are going to owe UBIT. There's no way around it. But if you do it through a C Corp, which we will show as one of the courses that we're doing, then you're held at a lower tax rate. And then I'll show you how to report it.
Good, good, good. And that'll be all part of that new website?
All part of that new website. We got just a ton of courses we're going to put on there.
Perfect, perfect.
I'm just delighted. I mean, finally, I got a format where I can show the things that I know. And even the things that I want to learn, I want to research it and then put it on there so that others can have it. It's so much better than what I was able to do with MaxPlans. I mean, MaxPlans, I really am limited. What am I talking about? I got to talk about Iqd. You know, I can do it in my sleep now. And I'm much more excited about sharing some of the other things that are out there, particularly as we're going through this revolutionary change in the whole foundation of business. It's awesome.
Good. Sounds great. Hey, thanks.
You bet, Rick. All right, Darnell.
You you caught me. Yeah, I wanted to say some things just about the crypto. He was right about the blockchains. But what most people don't realize, Bob, and I'm finna just say it, they want to get in this now because if you don't, when this full thing take off, you're going to have to be a creditor investor, like the taxes, and it is going to tokenize everything. Am I not mistaken?
You are right on. You are right
on.
You
know, I'm a millennial, so you know I've been doing my studies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the
I'm
things
a millennial, so I've been... Oh, sorry about that.
One of the things that we're going to be teaching, showing in the courses, I don't have it showing on there yet, but it's going to be. Okay, one of the first things that I want people to understand is that we are at a precious moment. How can you say the word precious and not think of, you know, a ring? Okay, a precious moment of being able to buy crypto cheaper than mining it. And
oh, man,
it's going to change in value. If you take a look at the cycle every 4 years, okay, it's going to go up in value. And if you use that simple strategy of understanding that capital gains, if you're single on long-term capital gains, $40,400 you can exchange tax-free. If you're married, $80,800. If you buy a trunk load of just some of the basics, I don't like playing with altcoins; they're too volatile. I prefer hanging on to the standards. But if you can get some pieces of those standard ones, either Bitcoin, Ethereum, something along that line, and get as much as you can, and then just wait, hang on to it. You know,
for that
a year down the road, my God, you could be set so well for the rest of your life.
That is so true.
Yep. And
I know.
Tax-free. Tax-free. Go ahead.
Oh, no. When you was mentioning certain coins, I was looking. It's a lot of them out there. Maybe I would have to tell you in private because I don't know if you can get in trouble telling you what coins it is. But, man, y'all got me on the road. I was quiet about this. I would have been said something about this, but I wanted to be quiet. Because I'm in it already, so that's why I'm saying that. I mean, I hope most people realize that time is ticking. You want to get in it now. And you said it was a good time. I call it a vibrant time because, man, anything is volatile. You can get into it real fast. Yeah. And a lot of people going to miss this boat. It's already getting ready to sell. It's only going to sell one way and never come back again.
Yep, absolutely. The other part is, you know, we saw Bitcoin hit 23 again. You know, And it peaked at 65, something like that last year. And
Yeah.
it is going to hit. I expect it's going to get up in the hundreds, maybe even more, within another couple of years. So why not get it now? And you don't have to buy a full coin at 25,000 or whatever it is. You can just buy a piece of it. The other thing that I want to show people that they understand is what dollar cost averaging is. Just every week buying a small piece every week. And then what you end up doing is you're going to end up with a growth. It's an easy strategy. A lot of the exchanges have it built in automatically for you. And professionals use it. Amateurs use it. It's just an easy way of being able to continually supplement what's going on in the crypto world. So, good point, Darnell. Thanks for hopping on.
Oh, no, no problem. I love the bear market, Bob. I really do. I know you got more questions on, but man, I'm into this stuff so deep. I can't wait to talk to you talking about this.
Well, cool. Let me tell you, we're going to be presenting a lot on that Rocket Enrich page. A lot, okay? So
definitely, I'll look at it.
Yeah, it's going to be worth the membership, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Any other questions, Darnell? You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm very good.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right, Richard?
I just wanted to say I just joined. I'm very excited about it.
Cool.
Where are the videos that we are to start listening to tonight? Where on that website
Ron?
are they?
Hey, Ron? Oh, Ron. Bob calling Ron.
I clicked it on. I clicked off again. All right. So just on the home page, the top in the menu over to the right, there's a free tickets tab there. Okay. Now, what you'll need to do is click that. This is a separate process than signing up and paying the annual dues. So you're going to go ahead and click there, and you'll be opting in basically when you do that step there. So it'll be a double opt-in. You'll get an email and you'll say accept. But there'll be an immediate page it's going to send you to that has another button for you to get your tickets. That's going to send you over to Michael's website, the uncensored crypto site, and you'll be actually putting your name and email there because you're joining his mailing list and his information, both of which you guys can unsubscribe at any time. But the way he's laid this out is every night for the next 9 days, I believe, is each episode will be released, and it's only available for 24 hours. And this one was launched today. It's the very first one. It's never been seen before, and so you do need to go through that process, and you'll get an email directly from him immediately, and it'll have access to the first video.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Who's next? All right.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, this is Kathy.
Hi.
Could you tell me again? I know he just went in, but I was trying to find it. What was Ron's site that we were supposed to go in to get the free tickets?
Hey, Bob, let me answer that because you got really faint when she came in.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it's Rocket, like the rocket ship, Enrich, ENRICH.com. That's where we're going to enrich your lives.
Okay.
So rocketenrich.com.
Okay, great. I'll do that now. Thank you.
Betcha.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody else? Then cool. We will call it a night. Thanks again, folks. You will be getting an email with the links to this particular presentation. Feel free to share it with anybody and everybody. Really take a look at this website that we're putting together and understand we're just getting started. Okay, we've got a lot of information to put on there, and quite frankly, I find it extremely enjoyable to build the courses. I like it. It's just fun. Jerry, I see you pop up here real quick. What do you got?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
I went to that site, and it says I got tickets. It says my name is Michael, and it gives an introduction. And he says that it starts next Tuesday. He said next Tuesday, Uncensored Crypto Episode 1 goes live and is free for you to watch. So could we be mistaken on that it happens tonight?
I don't know. Ron, what do you know about that?
Well, I'm guessing this might be, I'm going to be guessing here because let me go to my email. Of course, I clicked on and went through and got my tickets a few days ago, and I believe I hadn't had a chance because we were working to get this ready.
Boy, were we working.
I will, let me see if I have access to episode 1. So it might be kind of staggered is what I'm wondering, is if basically when you get your tickets, then your opportunity to get to episode 1 might be a few days off or something, but let me just see here.
Yeah, at the top it says Uncensored Crypto. It says yes, exclamation point. You're officially in, Jerry. Your seat for Uncensored Crypto premiere is confirmed. And then as I read on down, it says that it's next Tuesday. It says next Tuesday, Uncensored Crypto Episode 1 goes live and is free for you to watch. In the meantime, you'll also get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes footage and several valuable resources that help you to take advantage of this modern-day gold rush.
All right, I'm just going to see if this is the real, okay. All right, so I actually have it. I've received his email. Share my screen for a second, if you can.
Okay. Let's see, Ron. Switch presenter.
Can you hear that audio?
No.
No, you can't. All right. Well, you won't be able to see it, but
I switched over to you.
Okay. So I am watching right now episode 1, and it appears that it's live for me. So I don't know what whether that email is just going to be delayed a little bit to get to you, the one you would need to click in to get full access.
Yeah.
I mean the first emails that I was getting from him, every time I clicked into them, they just came to his little clip basically of what it all is all about. But now it looks like I have full access to episode 1. And it looks like, as you can see at the top, I've got 20 hours and 56 minutes and 1 second available for me to watch it. So that may be staggered. So based on when you did it, maybe it's a week away.
Going in the next generation of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
If possible, you might get another email shortly that would then give it access to you right away. So I don't know how his system, how he's got it laid out, and how it works necessarily.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jerry, for sharing. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Thank you very much. Like I said, we'll have this out to you shortly, and we will see you later.